making people jealous. That's Jon Moxley thing. I hold the replica AEW Championship, which means I am the third of interim champions, which means I deserve a reward. So, as this gravy train continues, and as we try to deal with other issues going on in AEW, as we try to adjust everything going on, with Jon Moxley still out of action with Jon Moxley still being champion interim for the foreseeable future until CM Punk recovers, which, judging by how long this is going to take, it's probably going to be till the rest of this year. Wouldn't be surprised. We'll have to see if any updates happen. They're hoping to get him back by All Out, but they're not certain on that. And with the recent unveiling of Trios titles, I can safely say that Kenny Omega looks like he's been cleared and is set to return very soon. Because Tony Khan had to repeatedly spoil everything by saying there will only be Trios titles when Kenny Omega is back. What was that? Kenny Omega's ready? Okay, let's get him back. Let's bring him in. So, yeah. Fight for the Fallen, where AEW does a big donation of $100,000 to, if I'm correct on what the donation was, something aquatic. I try to keep track on that. I came home late because I have work until 9:15, so yeah. My viewership of AEW has sadly been questionable because I can't watch anything, and when I finally get to watch it, because it's not live and not in progress, I am distracted by everything around me since I could just pause it. So yeah, I finally got to watch Roosh take on Jon Moxley for the AEW Interim World Championship, regardless of Jon Moxley's stance that he thinks that it's legitimate, which is understandable. But, yeah, as the drama fold continues on that front, Jon Moxley is getting his renewed chance to be the champion of the crowd era of wrestling again, since everything fell apart after that. The pandemic sucked. Still kind of does. Very, very much so. We're never gonna get out of it. Anyways, yeah. Roos is currently getting this push since he is... Actually, I don't think he even is legitimately signed to AEW. I think he's working on a case-by-case basis on this. I think at best he's signed with Ring of Honor, but he had a hell of a match going on at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, which I will cover into down the road. But, yeah. Andrade El Idolo required his services in order to reform Los Ingobernables, but sadly we can't make anything legitimate out of it because of, CMLL likes to be very stubborn with AAA wrestlers working with New Japan wrestlers, so... We're not going to get Naito versus Andrade unless CMLL gets over their issues with AAA. So, that kind of sucked. Like, I was excited when Roos came in, and I was like, oh, we're finally going to bring in Los Ingobernables de Americana, and they're going to raise hell, they're going to go to war with Japan's group, they're going to fight Tetsuya Naito, and CMLL destroyed my dream. You sick people. Anyways, yeah. So Roos and Jon Moxley would go to war in the greatest of iconic battles in the history of AEW. Of course, they're going to have a great match. Roos is a very crazy wrestler, is a very physicality wrestler with Jon Moxley at the helm. It's like, okay, yeah, this is going to be something when I first heard this announcement. And Andrade currently cannot do much because he has inflammation in his leg, last I heard. I don't know if he's recovered from that at the time. But he can still run. Run as fast as he can when Jeff Triangle comes after him. And... oh, man. So, Roos bites Jon Moxley's forehead. So, basically, it's the equivalent of, okay, Jon Moxley's in. Blackpool Combat Club's identity is filled with bloody gore. So, get the blood ready. And sure enough, Jon Moxley bled. Because crazy. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure Renee is, like, thinking to herself, what do I gotta do to make my husband stop doing that? Should I, like, make him sleep on the couch? Nah, he was in WWE and wrestling and traveling and all that, so hotel's probably already been used to that. Especially when he was hanging out with his Shield brethren. So, what can I do? What can I do to make him pay for stop bleeding? Like, you gotta wonder what that is. But Roos, however, I was like, okay, I don't know why I keep getting this Macho Man vibe. I don't know if it's because of his boots. I just get this Macho Man Randy Savage vibe from him. Like, I don't know why. I kept thinking, like, he reminds me a little bit, very little, of Macho Man Randy Savage, and I don't know if it's the boots. But, yeah. With the AEW Interim World Championship system, I don't know. In fact, now that I think about it, they never really established a preliminary ruling of how the interim titles work, because if they did, they would have to explain multiple things. I think this is just their way of going around the ruling and say, well, this is an interim title, therefore anyone can challenge it regardless of the ranking, because it's not a legitimate belt. It's just there temporarily. So, okay, as long as I get good matches, I'm cool with that, if that's their get out of jail free card for any obligations they may feel. But yeah, everything I heard about Fight for a Fallen this week on Dynamite, it was said to be insane. The first hour was said to be cinema. Like, Tony Khan was like looking at Triple H like, okay, Triple H has his guns, he has his hundreds of writers, Hollywood executives, Nick Khan, my evil cursed false Khan brethren. I have myself and my notebook and probably a team of friends. We're going to do something with this. And I heard the first hour of Dynamite was said to be absolutely insane, and the second hour was just okay at best. I mean, like, besides the main event. I'll get to that when I can. But Jon Moxley, surprisingly lost the title. Of course you think he won it. He was going to win it. Like, I know for a fact they're saving this match. They're saving Jon Moxley and Punk. They want to do that match. As much as we would love to see an untested wrestler take on Punk in terms of newness instead of familiarity, Jon Moxley is AEW's biggest star, and to have him and fight Punk, they're rising and they're big star as well, because they still have the novelty of the return run going on, which was sadly wrecked because of injury, because Punk got too excited and shattered his leg in places I cannot imagine. Let's hope he doesn't learn how to jump. Let's hope he doesn't jump through the railings ever again. Anyways, so yeah, Roosh gave a hell of a performance. Super kicks. That was to be expected. Jose, and I love how Jose the assistant distracts the ref to allow Roosh to use the steel chair. He misses. It's like, wait, but I'm always told by logic that they have to hit the cheating weapon in order to, get heat. Instead, they just go with, he just misses. Subversion! Anyways. But, yeah, Death Triangle got involved, chasing Andrade out after he tried to get himself involved, well, as much as he can with an injured leg. And, well, that didn't last long. Roosh almost lost the match, then almost got a win on this, which would have been shocking. And Jon Moxley ultimately gets the victory here with the Bulldog submission. I like how his Death Rider is becoming less and less his finisher, and the Bulldog submission is like he wastes no time in transitioning through it after he does the Death Rider and when the opponent kicks out. But now the big part of this happens, and this will cover part of Rampage as well, since I did watch it. Members of the Jericho Appreciation Society, after Jon Moxley won, came out. Jericho praises the match, the technical prowess of Moxley and Roos. and by technicality I mean physicality. And yeah, Jericho Appreciation Society, led by Chris Jericho, the head of all sports entertainment. And then not Daniel Garcia, he was preparing for his match against Bryan. I'm trying to remember the other guy. So basically, let me just say this. They called it AEW Galaxy Appreciate Us. You know what they're referencing. You know what they're referencing. And some people use that to trash AEW again because they were like, you see them referencing the WWE Universe and Roman Reigns. Except, I would like to... I don't know how people just... I don't know why the Tribalists just freaked out over this. Like, okay, yes, I get it. The whole gimmick is that they're sports entertainers, so they're clearly, obviously doing the WWE thing. Like, I don't know if the Jericho Appreciation Society is going to be redundant later down the road because, well, Vince is gone and Triple H is in charge, which is still a shocking moment for wrestling as a whole. So we'll have to see how that goes. But this is the thing I kept thinking, like, well, it's just that they never did that whole Appreciate Us and AEW Galaxy. Well, I'm pretty sure they mentioned AEW Galaxy before, but the Appreciate Us comment, which was clearly a homage to Acknowledge Me. I get why they referenced it, because of who was actually in the ring. Like, Seth mentioned Jon Moxley by his outside WWE name, so this is clearly they're saying, we hear you, we're sending a message back to Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns with our own sports entertainers. And Anna J, aka Anna JAS, as she likes to now call herself, is now part of the Jericho Appreciation Society as of last week after a very disastrous Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho match that felt extremely rushed and confusing. I'll probably get to that soon down the road. So yeah, that happened. Jericho then challenges Jon Moxley to a match. Jon Moxley's challenged to a title match at Quake at the Lake. Which, when you think about it, it's like, Jericho actually has a case. He was the first champion. Okay. And now that I think about it, he never did get a, quote, rematch with Jon Moxley because title rematches don't exist like Money in the Bank rulings. Unlike that other place that did it so freaking many times. That was annoying. But, Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho, when you think about it, it's like, they haven't had a match since... I think outside tag team matches, they haven't had a singles match since AEW Revolution. Pre-pandemic. Most impressive. Because, you see, this is the thing, it's like, you feel like you've, you feel like you've seen them wrestle more times in AEW, but then you realize, it's not tag team multi-man matches. They haven't had a singles match against each other for a while. So Jericho has his case, Jon Moxley has his, but then there was something else that happened on AEW Rampage this week. Wheeler Yuta staked his claim, saying, if I beat Jericho next week, I get the title shot. And I was like, I don't know who I want to win this, because both have their cases. Wheeler Yuta is the pure championship of Ring of Honor. Chris Jericho has his cases, such as being the first AEW champion. He wants to get a second chance at the title, especially since his mortal enemy Punk holds the belt, and we all know how that history went. But at the same time, Wheeler Yuta is part of Blackpool Combat Club, and they do think competition should exist in the group. Though, here's the thing about that part, and this is the part I love most when I think about AEW. It's the use of lore and continuity from the whole of wrestling, because when you think of competition within a faction, you think of what happened with the NWO and WCW. You think what happened in Chaos when Jay White was part of the group, when he advocated that, yes, wrestlers in Chaos should fight each other over competition for titles. And, well, that was Jay White's evil plan to destroy everything from within and take over Bullet Club down the road after they had splintered and refractured and factored itself back up and healed itself after kicking out the Elite. So, when you think about it, it's like, you kind of want Wheeler Yuta to fight Jon Moxley again for the title, but you're also hesitant to wanting to see that because that could spell eventual doom for the faction. If they start fighting amongst themselves, even if they will have respect for each other, eventually that respect will fade away and classify itself as obsolete. Obsolete! They fade away and classify themselves as obsolete. Obsolete! They'll fade away and classify themselves as obsolete. Obsolete! And, well, all that nonsense. I didn't know who I want to win. Do I want Jericho to win just for the element of continuing a history between them and the idea that Punk and Jericho could go at it again? Well, that's one ruling. But then you think, but I also want Wheeler Yuta to win because he's an awesome talent. He's a rising star. He's definitely World Championship material in my eyes. And I would love to see the challenges within Blackpool Combat Club. But at the same time, you're like, man, that's also a dangerous thing because whenever the competition within a faction happened, it always fell apart and the members fought amongst themselves to the point that they were yearning for more power and more influence. So like the Sith in Star Wars. Yeah, I've been in a Star Wars kick lately, so don't expect some Star Wars references whenever I do this kind of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting that I want to see either Jericho and Wheeler Yuta to win the next match and see how it goes either way. We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure Jericho's gonna win because, well, Jericho is the safest bet you could go with to fight Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta, while he has a history with Jon Moxley in his matches, y'all you don't want to see that at the same time because you don't want to see Blackpool Combat Club eventually fracture from this feud. We'll have to see. And I also think that they're also trying to convert Daniel Garcia to Blackpool Combat Club logic by bringing out his wrestling side, which in the match I will talk about. And I have my own theory about that. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Anyways, congratulations to Roosh for having an awesome showcasing performance. Jon Moxley, our continuing AEW Interim World Champion, who will no doubt fight to CM Punk in a Ultimate Ladder match probably, or just have a freaking awesome technical match. And Punk will probably learn not to jump, do aerial moves or aerial flying to the crowd again when he gets back. We'll have to see. But that's going to be later down the road. This was Neri on the Entertainment, the WrestleVerse, presenting Jon Moxley versus Roosh. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our content in the description below. Stay tuned for more. I'll see y'all next time. Take peace and take care. And salutations, one and all.